Good evening. So today very less strength. Diwali effect. Good. In the last session, we have started our discussion related to methods. What is the purpose of methods? Methods are used to perform some operation. So we have main method. Main method is entry point for JVM execution. Along with the main method, we can write our own methods also in the class to perform the operation. Developing the project nothing but developing the classes with the methods. In one class, you can write any number of methods. Now, methods are divided into two types. What are those two types of methods? Instance method and static method, non-static method and static method. Instance method we will call by using object, static methods we will call by using class name. Now, when we talk about the methods, so here method will have signature. When we talk about the method, method will have a signature. So method signature contains a return type. Method will have a return type. Method will have name and method will have parameters. Then after method will have body. Method will have body. After that body, return statement also will be available. Whenever we are writing any method, we need to understand the syntax of the method in the Java. We need to understand syntax of the method. Here, this method is divided into two parts. One is method declaration, another one is method implementation. Declaration represents what is the return type of the method, what is name of the method, what are parameters available. This is called as method declaration. This is called as method implementation. Method implementation nothing but method body. What you want to write inside the method, that is called method implementation. So we need to talk about method declaration and method implementation. Method implementation nothing but body. What is the logic you are writing inside the method, that is called as method body. Declaration nothing but return type, comma name, comma parameters. What are the parameters you are taking for the method? What is the name you are taking for the method? What is the return type you are taking for the method? That comes under method declaration. What is the logic you are writing inside the method? That is called as implementation. Implementation nothing but method body. Whatever the logic you want, you can write that logic inside the method body. That method, maybe you can use that method to perform sum of two numbers. You can use the method to reverse a string. You can use the method to store the data into database. You can use the method to retrieve the data from the database. Write the method to delete a record from the database. Write the method to update the data in the database. Write the method to store the data, retrieve the data, update the data, or perform all the operations in the single method. You can use method for any. Method means to perform some operation. Sir, what operation we need to perform? That depends on the requirement. That depends on the requirement. Maybe you can use to perform some mathematic operations. You can use to perform some string manipulation. You can use to perform some array operations. You can use to store the data, update the data, retrieve the data, delete the data. Whatever you want, you can do inside the method. But you need to understand what is a method declaration and what is a method implementation. What is the meaning of a declaration? Declaration contains return type, name and parameters. Implementation contains body. Body nothing but logic. What logic you are going to write inside the method. Fine. So now we have seen what is the method declaration and what is the method body. Method declaration. Method declaration means we are going to decide what is the name of the method, what are the parameters it will take, and what kind of value is returned by that method. That is called as method declaration. What is the syntax for the declaration? Method return type, method name, and list of parameters. Why I am saying list of parameters? Parameters can be 1 or parameters can be 2, parameters can be 10 also. More than one parameter we can take for a method. That's why we are calling it as list of parameters. This is called as method declaration. Name of the method, return type of the method, parameters of the method is called as method declaration. Then what is return type? What is return type of the method? What is the meaning of a method return type? What is return type? Come on guys. What is return type? Return type means what that method, after that method execution completed, after that method execution completed, what value that is going to return, that is called as method return type. For example, if you take a method here, what is the return type of this method? Boolean. That means it can return either true or false. Well, that means you are going to write the implementation, you will write the method body. After that body got executed, what value that method is returning, that is called as method return type. Writing the return type for the method is mandatory. Writing return type for the method is mandatory. If you don't want to return anything, then specify that as a void. Method return type is mandatory. You can return int value, any data type. You can return double value, you can return one array, you can return single character, you can return long value, you can return one object, you can return one array, you can return anything from the method. You are required to specify the return type. Return type is a mandatory. Sir, my method will do some operation, but I don't want to return anything. Then also you have to specify the return type as a void. So return type is mandatory. Return type is mandatory. Name is also mandatory. What method we are writing, that method should have some name. Based on that name, we can call the method. Whenever we write a method, is that method executing automatically? Whenever we write a method, is that method executing automatically? No. Methods will not execute automatically. We have to call the method. That is nothing but invoking the method. Method we are going to call nothing but we are going to invoke the method. If that method is a instance method, we will invoke by using object. If that method is a static method, we will invoke by using class name. So if I want to execute my method, I need to call my method. In order to call my method, I will use the name. So method name is mandatory, method name is optional, method name is mandatory. Method name is mandatory in order to call the method. Next, what are the method parameters? What is the meaning of method parameters? Variables. My method want to perform some operation. My method want to perform some operation. If my method want to perform some operation, my method needs some input. I want to perform sum of two numbers. I want to perform sum of two numbers. To perform sum of two numbers, my method requires that two numbers as a input. Integer c is equal to a plus b. You see here, method is add, name is add, return type is void, parameters are 2, into a comma, into b. So these are called as parameters of the method. If you want to supply any input for the method, then you can go for parameter. Parameter also can be any type. You can take int parameter, you can take a string parameter, You can take array parameter. You can take a object also as a parameter. Parameter can be of any type. Parameter can be of any type. Method parameters are mandatory or method parameters are optional. Method parameters are optional. If you want to pass some input for the method, then you can take the method parameters. If you don't want to take any input, then you can ignore the parameters. But can I ignore return type? Can I ignore the name? No. Return type is mandatory. Name is mandatory. Parameters are optional. Method return type plus name plus parameters is called method declaration, which is also called as method signature. Method signature. Please read this point. What every method contains two parts. What are those two parts? First one is method declaration. Second one is method body. As I told you in the last session, writing the methods is very important. As a programmer, you are going to develop one project. Project nothing but collection of programs. Program nothing but collection of methods. So if you are developing a project means you are developing the logic. Where you will develop the logic? Inside the methods only. So anybody will tell you what name we need to take, what return type we need to take, what parameters we need to take. Will your manager tell you that? No. You have to analyze and you have to identify what is the name, what is the return type, what are the parameters required for the method. So writing the methods is the crucial part in the project development. For every programmer, writing the methods, writing the method body is the crucial part in the development. Yeah, please read it. Come on. Read it, guys. Read it. Every method contains two parts. One is called method declaration. Second one is called as method body. What is a method declaration? What is a method declaration? Method declaration means we are going to decide what is the name of the method, what are the parameters it will take, and what kind of value is returned by the method. This is the syntax. Return type, method name, and a list of parameters. First one, return type. What is return type? Return type is a data type that indicates what type of value is returned by the particular method. Return type can be of any primitive type or array type or reference type. Your method can return int value, it can return string value, it can return one array, it can return one object also. If a method does not return any value, then return type must be specified using a keyword called void. What is the meaning of a void? What is the meaning of a void? Method is not going to return anything. Specifying the return type is optional or mandatory? Return type is mandatory. If your method don't want to return anything, specify it as void. But return type is mandatory. Then what is the name of the method? What is a method name? Every method should have some name. It can be add method, delete method, save method, update method, retrieve method, check method, validate method, anything. You can take any name. You can take any name for the method. But method should have a name. Read it. To identify and access the method, there is a suitable name is given for a method which is called as method name. A method name can be any valid Java identifier. We know what is a identifier. Some rules are available for the identifier. Whenever you are writing the method, you need to follow identifier rules. Do you remember what are the rules? What are the rules for identifier? Starting should be a character. First letter should be a character. After that, spaces are not accepted. Only dollar underscore is accepted. Dollar underscore is accepted. Some rules are there. We need to follow those rules. Now, what is this? Specifying method name is mandatory. Okay, what are the method parameters? Can you read it? Parameters are the variables that will receive the values that are passed into particular method, on which data method will perform the operations. My method want to perform some operation on the data. I want to perform sum of two numbers. Those two numbers I need to pass as a input for the method. My method want to reverse the string. My method will take a string as a parameter. My method will print array. That means my method will take array as a input. On which data your method wants to perform the operation, you need to pass that data as a input for the method. On which data your method will perform the operation, on that data you need to pass as a parameter for the method. We can write 0 or more number of parameters of any primitive type or array type or reference type. Method return type, method parameter can be any type of value. It can be a primitive type value, it can be a reference type, it can be array type, it can be string type also, whatever you want. Depends on the requirement, we are going to decide what parameters we need to take, what return type we need to take for the method. Good. Specifying the parameters mandatory, specifying the parameter is optional, specifying the parameters is optional. Now, next one, what is a method body? Method body or method implementation. Method body or method implementation. What is the meaning of method body? Whenever you write a method, curly brace will start, curly brace will end. In between the curly braces, whatever you are writing, that is called as method body. Now if you take a main method, here curly brace is started, here curly brace is ended. In between the curly braces, you can write anything. Into A is equal to 10, into B is equal to 20, into C is equal to A plus B. A plus B. Can I call it as method body? Yes or no? Yes. Can I call this as one method? Can I call this as one method? Yes. This method having a body, this method also having a body. Every method will have a body. Body nothing but implementation of the method. What action, what operation that the method has to perform, we will write as part of the body. Inside the body, business logic will be available. As per the project requirement, we will develop the classes, we will develop the methods, we will write the logic inside the methods. Good. Read this. Method body or method implementation. Come on. Method body means we are going to write the group of statements that are executed by the method. A method body can be written in between pair of, not curly braces. Okay? Huh. Method body means we are going to write the group of statements that are executed by the method. A method body can be written in between pair of curly braces. Syntax, return type, name, parameters, method starting point, method ending point. These curly braces will represent boundary of the method. That means what statements should be part of that method will be decided by those curly braces. Now if you see, we can write 0 or more number of statements in between curly braces. Your method body can be a single line, your method body can be multiple lines. Can you read this? Is there any use writing a method without body? No, there is no use. So whenever we are writing a method, we are going to write some body. Body represents what operation that method has to perform. All right. Now, if the return type is specified as other than void, we must return a value from our method using Java keyword return keyword. Whenever I write a method as a void, then I no need to return anything. For example, if I return int, then I definitely, it's mandatory that I have to return some int value. So if you specify return type as anything other than void, then you have to return that value. Return statement is mandatory when the return type is not void. If I specify the return type as void, then no need of returning the value. So when to write the return, when we no need to write the return depends on return type of the method. If a method return type is void, then we no need to return anything. If a method return type is anything other than void, then you have to write the return statement also. Now, can you please read these points? What is a method body or method implementation? Come on. Method body or method implementation. Please read these points, guys. These are very important. If you don't know how to write the methods, you will not get the confidence to write the code. Method body, method implementation, both are same. Method declaration and method implementation. Method declaration. I think here I specified as a definition declaration, correct. Method body can also be called as method definition. Definition is also comes under method body or implementation. Method definition. Declaration, nothing but signature. Definition, nothing but body. So are you clear with method return type, method name, method parameter, method body, method return type? Are you comfortable? Yes. Return value. Now, there are some rules that we need to follow when we are writing the method. If you specify the return type as int, then mandatory that you have to return only int value. If you specify the return type as a string, you have to return the string value. If you specify the return type as a void, no need to return anything. If I specify the return type as a array, then you have to return the array value. So what is the data type that you are using for the return type? Same type of value you have to return from the method. For example, can I do like this? Void string add return C. Can I do like this? Why? What is the return type of the method? Method return type is a string value. What I am trying to return? Int value. Both are not matching. Both are not matching. If I specify as a boolean, can I return the int value? No. If I specify boolean, I have to return either true or false value. So whatever you take as a data type for the return type, same data type value you have to return from here. So that is the point that you need to remember. When we write a zero statement, it is called null implementation. If return type is void, then we must not write any return value statement. If my method is having a return type as a void, then can I write a return like this? No, we should not write the return. Just we need to leave like this. Void return type. Whatever you want, you can do, but don't return anything. Now can you see what is the return type of the void? Sorry, what is the return type of the main method? Void. So can I return C here?